Are you a basketball player that wants to be a great finisher around the rim? Do you want to impress your coach with your creativity in the lane? Do you want to be the kind of player that minor defensive contact doesn't really bother you? Well, today we're going to talk about the one thing that you can do as a player that will help you with all those things. Let's jump in and discuss. Welcome back to Hard Smart Together. I'm Coach Dave. I'm here every week to help basketball players become the smart, confident players that coaches love. So today we are talking about one single habit. Maybe it's something that you're doing today. Maybe it is a change that you need to make in your game. But it's one single habit that can, as I mentioned, affect so many aspects of your game. It can make you a better finisher around the rim. It can make you stand out as a really creative player, especially in the lane. And it can make you a stronger player. It can make you one of those players that, defenders hate to defend because you can finish through any contact and you get a lot of and ones that way. So before I get to that one single habit that you should be implementing in your game, I do want to offer you up a free gift. I always give a free gift just for spending some time with me today. It is a checklist of 8 intangible skills that coaches love to see in players. If you want to be one of those smart, confident players that coaches love, be sure to download this checklist. It has each skill. It also has some ways that you can show these skills off to coaches and implement them as you go through your career. So you can download it by simply scanning the QR code below. I'll put a link in the description below, or if you're just listening on the podcast, simply go to hardsmarttogether.com/intangibles. Again, it's hardsmarttogether.com/intangibles, and I'll be sure to get you that free checklist. So what is this habit? And it is a habit that I wish, if I could go back in time, look back at my high school career, I wish some coach had taken me aside and said, you need to work on this. You need to put this in your game. It would have made me so much better on the court. It would have made me a much smarter basketball player, much more in control basketball player. And I think it would have led to much more playing time, and who knows where how much better my career could have been if I just had the guidance and somebody told me, implement this habit. So what is this habit, and why do I say that about myself? Well, when I was in high school, believe it or not, I was really athletic. I felt I could jump over anybody, anything. I would fly down the court, take off. I didn't care who was in the lane. I was taking off and trying to dunk on people. I was trying to shoot over people. I was, getting up in the air. But I was a one-footed jumper. So what is this habit that you should get into that's going to affect all these aspects of your game? Instead of being a one-footed jumper, become a two-footed jumper. And I'm going to get into the details of and exactly how that being a two-footed jumper can affect your game. But being a one-footed jumper, I know from experience, you're not in great control and you're not very creative. And the first element that I want to talk about that being a two-footed jumper is going to help you is, as a one-footed jumper, you're really easy to defend. And why do I say that? Because one-footed jumpers, great defenders, watch one-footed jumpers, and as you're going down the lane or on a break or wherever you are about to jump, defenders can watch you. Doesn't matter how fast or slow you're going, you gather. They can kind of tell when you're going to take off and jump. You have to gather off of one foot to go. And once you jump, you're in the air. You got to either finish shoot, or hopefully at that point while you're in the air, if you get stuck, you can pass to a teammate. But defenders, it's easy. It's easy to, especially for one-footed jumpers, they're going, one speed, full speed all the time. They can step in and take a charge. If they're chasing you down on the break, it's easy to see that gathering and to time their jump. And yes, there are people, I don't care who you are, just as athletic as you out there, and you can get blocked from behind. They can block, good defenders in the lane can time their jump, and once you're in the air, block your shot. And so you're a much easier player to guard as a one-footed jumper. So being a two-footed jumper gives you control. As I mentioned, when you take off with one foot, you're out of control most of the time. You don't have options once you leave the ground. As a two-foot jumper, you have options. Let's give those same scenarios. You're coming down on a break or you're getting into the lane. If you make a jump stop, now you have options. Yes, you can go straight up off of 2 feet. Or if a defender happened to step in, jump stop gives you control not to plow through them. Also, it's harder to time your jump because now you have the ability, once you stop, whether it's in the lane or on the break, to give a little pump fake. Defender goes flying right by. To give a little pump fake, defender in the lane goes up, and now you can be more creative. To give a pass fake, now defender goes away and you can get to the rim. So going off of 2 feet versus going off of 1 foot will help you be harder to defend. It will help you be more creative because now nobody can time what you're doing because you've got fakes that you can throw in, you can finish, whatever the case might be, and then you're in control. Coaches love to see players in control, okay? They look at them like special players, and I know if I had have just implemented jump stops and being a little bit more in control, I could have still used my athleticism going off of 2 feet, but I wanted to jump over everybody and go full speed, 1 foot. Coaches would have looked at me differently. They would have thought of me as a different kind of player. So you're in control and you can show off that control. You can show off that creativity to coaches. The final thing that it can do for you is make you stronger. You ever see those players and you go, man, they're strong. They've always finished through contact. Well, when you're going off of 1 foot, typically you're kind of committed and you're trying to avoid contact, and any little bump kind of jars you off from what you're doing, whether that's finishing, whether that's passing, whether that's shooting, it doesn't matter. The contact bothers you. When you power up off of 2 feet, you can typically go through contact. So you get in there, make a jump stop, give a little pump fake, and the defender gets up in the air, and now you power up and through. You'll find, one, you're finishing through the contact because you're stronger at finishing. And two, you're going to get more and ones because coaches aren't the only ones that like to see control. Referees like to see control too. And you're going to draw more attention to even small contact and you're going to get more calls. I use a lot of video clips when I work one-on-one with players and with groups with players on talking about these kind of topics. And, one of the greatest examples I can give, a program that was really good at 2 foot, not only jump stops, but 2 foot jumpers and in control and creative, was Jay Wright's Villanova teams from, years past. You want to look at 2-footed jumpers versus 1-footed jumpers, and some of those guys are probably household names for you if you follow the NBA. New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson. Smaller guy, really strong finisher, great finisher, creative finisher. Dante DiVinzio, really strong finisher, good finisher, creative finisher. So, you can look for examples like that And I usually use those kind of examples when I'm working one-on-one, or like I said, with a group of players. I have a bunch of clips that I share with them on how one-footed jumpers are typically out of control and easy to defend. Two-footed jumpers, in control, creative, harder to defend, stronger players. So that is your tip for the week. Start if you're already, making jump stops and powering off of 2 feet, continue, do it more. If you find yourself, like I was in high school, a one-footed jumper, always out of control, start putting in some jump stops, start putting in some creativity, start putting in some power to your game. And I think it's going to make a big difference in how coaches view you and how you play. And that is one more step on becoming a smart player. So as always, if you know anybody who could use this messaging, who could use watching this video, please forward this on to them. I always appreciate the likes and any comments you have below. And until next week, remember to play hard, play smart, and play together. See you next week.